All right, welcome one and all to Tarqaron.
Woo, yeah.
All right,
Tarqaron.
my name is Zach,
And I'm Alec.
and today we're going to be talking about our favorite things, our top three, and put them together, six favorite things of the month of February 2020. All right, so
That's
this could be
six.
anything,
Yeah. Boom.
anything we enjoyed in the month that we want to highlight, and we tried this format out for the first time last month, and it seemed to work better than the old way. What the old would do.
Yes.
All right. What do you want to highlight?
Well, I'd like to highlight PAX East. I get to go to PAX East this year with a good college friend of mine.
I was not
So,
invited.
no, you weren't. Sorry.
What's up?
And well, you could have come. I mean, like, there's nothing holding you back from going to PAX.
Hmm.
Um, but
Except for
yeah,
an
so
incentive
I
to
went
be there.
so I went to PAX this year. There was an epic YouTube meetup, just like the old times. No, there wasn't. Um, so I went on Friday. I got I got to play the Final Fantasy VII demo, and then of course it came out early the week we're recording. It came out Monday, just yesterday. Um, and the demo at PAX was an earlier build of the game than the one I played, or than the one that just recently came out, which is great because I liked the way it felt at PAX. I really liked the game. I thought it looked slick. I really liked how it felt. Then I played the demo that just came out, and wow, it's very different. So I guess I'm highlighting the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo in here too. So that's part of it, part of
Cheating.
my things. But I mean, PAX in general is just it's always a good time. You know, always have a good time. Picked up a lot of merch, spent way too much money, and just generally had a really good time browsing around. And uh, yeah, it was fun. Got to see a lot of sights. I don't really get to play any games. It's really hard if you only go one day to like really justify um standing in too many lines. I mean, I stood in line for the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the way they set it up, which is a way that I think should be done for all big release type things. It was a ticketed event, so you show up at PAX. They have a limited number of tickets. You go to the booth, pick your ticket up, and then that guarantees you a spot in line for the time slot that's on the ticket. And I showed up. We were in like the second wave to get let in, and I think and tickets must have been gone maybe within 5 minutes after I got mine
Right.
easily, uh, because my pass was for between 350 and 520, I think. So it was like an hour and a half span of time, that window. And I was just like, wow. I was like, that was the first thing I did. As I just booked it over to their booth. So, but other than that, I mean, I just had a generally good time. Saw some college friends and hung out and had fun. So
When was the last time you
yeah,
went to PAX East before this?
it was the year before. I went
Okay.
last year as well.
Have you been going every
Same
year?
sort of. No, I before that it was the 2015 was the last time I'd gone. So I
Mm.
took a 4 year whole hiatus on PAX. So
How did
yeah.
this year compare to 2015 PAX East?
Um, I mean it's sort of disappointing because it's Sony wasn't there. They were gonna have a really big Last of Us presence. I mean it was all in the advertising all around PAX.
Mm-hmm.
There's the like Last of Us was being advertised everywhere. So they would have had like probably a gameplay demo there if they had shown up, but nothing. Microsoft wasn't there either. They probably would have had some presentations about the Series X. They weren't there. Blizzard didn't show up. They probably would have had stuff with Overwatch. They would have had stuff with Overwatch 2. They didn't show up. It was just like three huge names didn't show up to PAX, and it was definitely disappointing in that regard. But I got to go to a bunch of smaller booths. that didn't even realize we're going to be there. I get to go see NIS, Xseed, um, First Four Figures had a booth this year, and the one booth I missed, I was really bummed out because had forgotten the day of. I was like, oh sweet, Platinum Games has a booth. And then the day kept going, and I totally forgot that they had a booth. And because we went through the whole floor, and I didn't see them, and they were like tucked in a corner back around Nintendo. And there was this really weird thing where we were walking around that way, where they stopped us and they made us turn around and go the other way. So I didn't get to go see Platinum because of this weird block where they're like, you can't come this way. The people were very there were some very pushy people, I guess you could say, this year.
Nice.
So, I mean, we got to go more than one day in 2015, so that to me made it more worth it. But
yeah,
maybe next year I'll try to get a ticket.
We played some Smash 4.
That was awesome.
Back in the day.
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, PAX was a blast. I mean, I picked up this Persona 5 sweatshirt there, so I had a great time. It was very fun.
Nice.
So yeah, next year you should come. It would be fun. We could do a thing. Be great.
Well, I don't know. We should try to find a new event that none of us have been to before. Also, would be interesting.
I've never been to MagFest. That's one that I've always wanted to go to. That's down in Virginia.
That could be a possibility. So for my highlight, I guess I'll do. I went to Ohio the past weekend with my my friend. My friend basically asked if I wanted to come with him. He had to pick up something, and he was like, "I'll pay for pretty much everything. I'll pay for most of the food, and I'll pay for the room, and I'll drive us there." I'm like, all right, sure. He actually you will not believe the whole reason he went out to Ohio is to pick up an amiibo kiosk from this this seller. Yeah,
that's awesome.
He was like, let's
just... was that like first run amiibo kind of display thing?
I don't know. I never actually got to see it because it was all wrapped up when he brought it out.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a smaller display. I guess it was from GameStop or something.
Yeah, they had sort of smaller ones. Yeah.
But
when those were around,
we didn't really do that much. A lot of the time we stayed in the hotel and we watched a lot of Big Brother and stuff because I've been showing him Big Brother, and but we did get to try some new food. So my real highlight is not Ohio, but it is Steak and Shake because I got to have Steak and Shake for the first time. And
okay, I've never had Steak and Shake before.
It's really good. We tried multiple places. I got to try it for the first time. Bob Evans, Waffle House, and Steak and
I've heard
Shake.
Waffle House. I've never had Waffle House. I've heard it's just very leaves a lot to be desired.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, the menu is very minimalistic. It's a very small menu, but the waffles they're amazing. So
okay.
I mean, he was talking them up so much about it's his favorite place ever to go get breakfast. So, but I'm usually not much of a waffle person. I'm a pancake boy myself, and yet I still enjoy them thoroughly.
I don't really get the difference other than the waffle has little pockets.
Right, but
is that basically the difference?
I mean, I feel like there's a difference in taste, but when you get a good quality waffle, it's there's not much, so it doesn't make much of a difference really.
It's man, that's a solid waffle right there.
Mm-hmm. But Steak and Shake has great stuff. I had the double cheeseburger. I had chicken fingers, which they call them, and they have some of the best French fries I've ever had too. Really good stuff, and we don't have any of that in New Jersey, so all these places were new to me. We have really boring places around where I live in New Jersey, so that's my highlight. The highlight of going to Ohio was that friends Cole and Rusty both live in Ohio, different parts of Ohio that are both equally far from where we were. If it was just me going on a trip to Ohio, I would have probably been willing to just drive out 2 hours to
To
visit.
just see them. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
obviously not gonna. But I'm obviously not gonna like detour when it's. I'm there pretty much just for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't find myself down in Ohio very often, so
Yeah.
um you're I guess you're a little closer, but
Well, it's like seven. It was a
but yeah.
7 hour drive, so
Yeah, I mean, it'd be like longer than that. It'd be like probably 15, 20 hours for
yeah.
me. So, yeah. It's like 2 days. 2 days you get out to Ohio from here, so
Nice. All right.
but
What else you got?
so I for those of you who don't know, you should see I uploaded a solo video on the channel about Casino Royale, which is one of my favorite James Bond movies. But I don't want to talk about that today because I don't want to reiterate it. I'm going to talk about Quantum of Solace, which I think is a very underrated James Bond film. I really like Quantum of Solace a lot. It's very much it literally picks up directly after the end of Casino Royale, so it is just a straight sequel. I think people aren't as fond of it because it definitely takes more of like it feels a little bit more like the Jason Bourne films. It's a lot more violent. I think I was reading somewhere that there's like more counts of violence in that Bond film than any other one. So it's definitely violent, brutal film. I think that its emotional core is still very much there, though. It's also really notable that the lead. I mean, should I spoil? I mean, it's not really much of a spoiler when you okay. So the lead female is like one of the only Bond girls that James Bond doesn't sleep with,
Okay. Wow.
and it's like so it's notable in that regard.
Making
It's
strides.
just like it's like he respects her journey and like what she's seeking in that film like so much that like
Hmm.
it doesn't amount to that. Like they have a respect for each other that's outside of a physical attraction. So that's I mean that's pretty great. But overall, I love how it's the plot just is really is very streamlined. You can really follow what's happening, and I think just as a continuation and a conclusion of loose ends at the end of Casino Royale. I mean, I couldn't think of a better kind of a better sort of epilogue to that film. Really, is what I kind of what I'd consider Quantum of Solace, and I really liked it a lot. I definitely think if you like Casino Royale, don't go in with as high expectations for Quantum of Solace, particularly not in the theme song because the theme song is even I will admit it's not a very good song. It's like this weird. It's like Jack White and Alicia Keys, and it doesn't work at all.
Hmm.
Like it feels like it's such a bizarre song and it just doesn't really work, but the like the score of Casino Royale, they're able to use it in the score like brilliantly. That like the score of the film is uses the theme and it uses it really well. So the song itself doesn't really work, but the as an instrumental I guess it worked great. But yeah, Quantum of Solace, thumbs up. It's a good film. I like it. I think it's very underrated.
I still haven't seen any James Bond films, so future Tarqaron series.
Yeah, I guess so. Getting Zach up to speed on Jimmy Bond.
On what 2025 movies?
It'll be 25 movies come
Jeez.
April.
All right. My next one I want to talk about is I don't have too much to say honestly, but I wanted to highlight Borderlands 2. I'm still going through that with my brother, and
Okay.
it's really good. It's honestly like exactly what I want from a co-op game, especially when it comes to like an online experience. It's
Nice.
perfect. Like I missed the whole wave of Borderlands years ago, and like when it originally came out. So the past few years when I've been able to experience it, the original Borderlands, my brother and I were living together, so we played a split screen. But
Yeah.
now I play this online, and I feel like it works much better online because you get your own screen, and you also can just be doing your own thing if you want to. Like it's a nice to be able to have this open. It's pretty much an open world, but it's also a first-person shooter, and it's got RPG elements, and it's just a lot of fun to do with another person. I imagine having like 4 people could be crazy too. But I love that there's so many side quests and stuff that it seems like we still have hours and hours to go through, even though we've played quite a while. And then we still have Borderlands, the pre-sequel after this, and I recently bought this Borderlands 3 Super Deluxe Edition.
Ooh,
so
nice. Has that got like season pass stuff on it, I would assume?
Yeah, it's got like all the DLC, 5 DLC whenever they come out, or whatever.
Nice.
And pretty much everything you can get. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. But Borderlands 2, I think, is even better than the original Borderlands for me. Just the experience.
Yeah, I mean, most people would agree with that. I've never been huge on Borderlands. I remember we used to play Borderlands in college a little bit. I used to mostly watch, but it was a lot of fun. I liked watching it. I watched my brother play it split screen, actually in this very room, because this used to be the room that he would use for his like man cave type stuff. So I used to watch him play that down here a little bit. And yeah, the rest of the games just sort of passed me by a little bit. I played a little bit of Borderlands 2 maybe about a year ago. Maybe not a year ago, maybe like 6 months ago. Me and a couple of college friends were playing it. 2 of my D&D buddies were playing it. We should go back to it at some point because it was fun. I was having a good time with it, but yeah. Hard to coordinate schedules because one of the guys works nights. So
yeah, my brother and I have like we pretty much every Sunday we try to play as long as I'm not working.
Yeah,
so
nice.
It's a good thing to go back to. All right, what else you got?
All right, so my last thing is going to be my thing is just going to be highlighting the fact that I got the platinum trophy for Kingdom Hearts 3.
What?
And I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, dog. Pretty excited. It was not like the hardest trophy I've ever gone for. It was time consuming, obviously. It was kind of embarrassing because the Kingdom Hearts, the mainline Kingdom Hearts games have always had like synthesis. So it's like you collect materials from the monsters. They all drop stuff.
I hate synthesizing.
Synthesis in Kingdom Hearts 1 is really terrible. It gets a lot better in 2, and then in 3 it's pretty much the same as it is in 2. I think it's a lot better in those 2 games. In 1, I've never liked it, in Kingdom Hearts 1. So the Ultima weapon, you need 7 Orichalcum pluses for it.
Sure.
And there was one that I was missing, and I thought, for the longest time, I thought it was one that you could only get through these envelopes that you get from the shop. So when you're buying stuff from the Moogle, he will just randomly... I would say it's like a 50-50 chance. If you purchase anything from the shop, he'll give you like an envelope that you then turn in at a mailbox in one of the worlds. And when you do that, it like basically rolls the dice and gives you a random synthesis material or item from the list. So I thought that was where the Orichalcum Plus that I was missing was for like 3 hours. So it wasn't all in a row, but I spent probably about 3 hours reloading my game with like 50 envelopes and just turning them in, and I'm like, why can't I get this stupid drop for the longest time? And so eventually I was like, okay, because I like looked up the list of like where you get all of them, because there's only seven of them in the whole game. So I was like, okay, there has to be something that I'm missing here. So I went through the whole list again, like really closely. And so I was like, oh, there are these little mini games that you have to do around the worlds. And I was like, okay, well, I've already set high scores on them, right? I should have gotten I was pretty sure that I got the Orichalcum Plus from that. turns out that you have to set a very specific high score on all of the mini games. You have to like reach a certain point total on all of them in order to get that, which I didn't know. The game didn't say that, and I didn't realize that in when I was reading like where they all drop, because some of the guides didn't specify that.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to all those, got all that done, bing bang boom, got the ultimate weapon. It is gorgeous, and I love it. And then after that, it was like I just basically had to just do cooking, do the last two like recipe perfects, and then I got the platinum trophy. And whoa, I got it. I still have to beat the whole rest of the DLC. I'm working on the limit cut episode is what it's called. So of the Remind DLC. So I'm still trucking away at that. So I'm still playing the game, but I got that platinum trophy, and I'm a happy little boy. So
Nice.
yeah.
By the way, one of the games that I played through with my brother before Borderlands 2 was the Nunnery games, and
Ooh.
I got robbed of getting every trophy on that game, because in 999 there's like one path you have to do specifically before another path, otherwise you can't do this like other path. And it's really annoying. It's the only.
I think
case,
I know.
It's like the
I
only
think I know
case in both games that's the case.
I think I know what you're talking about, because there's one where I know what you're talking about, because on the original DS cartridge, I'm pretty sure I went and did that specific thing to get that one specific ending. But because you don't have to get every single ending. You just have to, I think, do certain ones, and then you unlock the true ending. But there's like a few that you don't necessarily have to do that. And yeah, I remember doing that because I was like, I want to get all the endings or whatever. So yeah.
But it's really annoying, because then the only way to get it is I'd have to play through it all again. I'm like, hell no.
Whether you can just skip, you just use the skip feature.
But you still have to play through all the puzzle rooms.
Oh,
again.
you have to do all the puzzles. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true.
So that's the most.
I forgot about that.
So I got robbed of that. But
yeah.
Or anyway, my last thing I want to talk about is Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Ooh.
I went back and started playing this in anticipation for Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is like my most anticipated game in a long time. It's going to be great. I had a complete turnaround after watching the Nintendo Direct. Like when it was first revealed, I was skeptical about it. I did a video talking with my friend about it when it was first revealed, and then we went and did a video talking about the Direct also on my channel. But it's just a complete 180. Now it's looking like the best Animal Crossing, easily. What we've seen, there's so much they added to it.
That's great.
It's a shame you won't be playing it, because I know they got Rusty going to be playing it. Rusty, Ryan, and Lauren are all going to be playing it. Plus, I know a bunch of friends are going to be playing it, so I want to have as many people to be able to visit and come visit my town as possible. You know,
I've just never. I get it. I get Animal Crossing's appeal. It's just not my thing. It's never been for me, really. I remember trying Wild World and just not really getting it. I played it for a while. I played it for a while for me, in my terms. I probably played it for like 3 or 4 hours, and I was just like,
is that the one you played?
Yeah. And I know everyone says that's like probably the weakest one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't get Animal Crossing Wild World. That's also a fan favorite for a lot of people too. I know, like, Nostalgia King is his favorite, but I always prefer the console ones, and the Switch is obviously the perfect hybrid for both fans.
Really? Because I know a lot of people say that New Leaf was just like a standout game.
I mean, New Leaf, is like the definitive one so far, but I've always just preferred playing. I know the original is my favorite, and City Folk I really love playing. In conclusion, Animal Crossing, I like it better the console ones for some reason.
Okay. Sure.
So
yeah,
maybe you should just buy it and play it.
Maybe. Okay.
I was thinking of naming my island Tarqaron, actually.
That's fun. I'm not making any promises. We'll just say that.
Well,
I got a lot of money committed to moving and other things, so
Well, I'm moving to the Nook Island, Deserted Island Getaway Package, baby.
Okay.
We'll get a. I'll have to post some pictures hanging out with the gang. I'll
Yeah.
keep sending them to you.
And making me
Like,
feel
hey, where are
like
you?
excluded, right? Is that what you're?
I gotta make like a fake like podcast studio.
On your island
Yeah.
where you guys all hang out.
Or in my house or something. I wonder if there's like a microphone I could get to set that up. Alright, so that's it for the month
Yeah.
of February.
Epic.
What a month it was.
But yeah, indeed.
Ohio, Massachusetts, and a couple other things. Alright?
Yeah, dog.
So stay tuned to the next month for another one.
The next super exciting episode of whatever this was.